And we're recording. So I'm going to shut the volume up on this. I'm going to go wash my hands. And shut my microphone off. And here we are at the prep area angle. Can you guys hear me okay? I hope so. Right, guys, so here we are at the prep area angle. This is where we're going to show you guys how to do some different knife cuts. First of all, as far as the standard knives you guys are going to be using in class, this is a Mercer Millennia 8-inch chef knife. This is a standard. It's probably the most commonly used knife in our kitchen. I will actually, there's a couple scratches and dings on these things. I will be asking questions on quizzes. What's the most common used knife in the professional kitchen? It is the 8-inch chef knife. We also have it in extra wide. This is a little bit of a thicker blade. This would be used more for breaking down sweet potatoes and stuff. It's a little thicker blade. It's a little wider at the bottom. Don't worry, I'm not going to make any wisecracks. It's okay. Those are the two standard knives that you guys will normally use in the kitchen. Those knives are very nice. We have about $3,000 worth of Mercer Millennia cutlery at your disposal and a lot of good stuff. So over here, these are some of the knives that I have that I like to use. First one, Global 10-inch Oriental chef knife. This is my favorite knife to use in the world. You want to know how sharp this knife is? I will show you. I'm left-handed. You want to see how sharp this knife is? This is a good... That's how sharp I like my knives. Now, my question to you is, and I want answers in the chat. Culinary 2, you should know this. I'm asking this to Culinary 1. Culinary 2, do not answer this question at all. You guys should already know this. If you don't, grrr. Culinary 1, what is the most dangerous knife in the kitchen? I want to see if you know this. While you guys are answering on the chat, I'm going to go through and share some other knives I have. This is made by a Chinese company called CCK. This is a duck slicer. Marcus, wrong. This is a duck slicer. This is used mostly for slicing poultry, duck, chicken, anything like that. This is a paring knife, or as the Japanese call it, a petty knife, used for small work. Most knives like this are used for stuff off the board. This is a Chinese cleaver or a Chinese chef knife. I use this for chopping vegetables. This is not meant to chop bones or to chop meat. It will actually break if it does. The steel on this is really, really hard. It maintains a really sharp edge. And if you use this on bones, the edge is going to break because the harder the steel is, the more brittle it is. You wondering how sharp this is? We talked about consistency and standards. My standard is your shred knife should be razor sharp, and all of my knives in my knife bag consistently are. This is my latest acquisition. This knife actually is not from Japan, and it's not from China, and not from Vietnam. This knife is actually from the country of Turkey. I have a friend of mine, Chef Bob Vanagan. He actually goes over there on mission trips to Istanbul and works with people. He's worked with these knives before. This knife is called a Zier knife. It's thick, it's stiff, it's stout. It's good for mincing ginger and garlic and onion. Very nice knife. This is another favorite of mine. This is called a Kiri cleaver. It's like a cleaver, but it has the tip like the Japanese knife that Chef Christian used in his video that you guys did for your warm-up. Mr. St. Vincent would love this knife because this knife is made by a company called Dalvois in Vietnam, and this knife actually is made from recycled leaf springs off of cars. So I am helping the environment by buying knives made from recyclable metal. So now let's talk about knife cuts. First off, onion. The onion. I love the onion. First off, when you're holding a knife, never ever hold it like this. I hate that. I call that the rude grip. It's not polite to point. You're holding a knife like this, and somebody comes along and, oh, what's going to happen? You've lost complete control of that knife. It's going to flip around. Somebody's going to try to catch it. They're going to slice their hand open. It's going to send them straight to the hospital. When you are holding a knife, we use the pinch grip. Like this, thumb and index finger. Bring your other fingers around. Hold your knife like this. When you hold it, because when you're holding it like this, somebody comes around. Oh, what happens? That knife is secure. You have complete 100% control. Well, by the way, nobody seemed to answer what the most dangerous knife in the kitchen was. I'll answer it for you. It's a dull knife. The most dangerous knife in the kitchen is one that is not sharp. When you're working with a dull knife, you lose control of your product. So, onion. We're going to show a small dice. I'm going to use this big bad boy right here, but my recommendation is find a knife that fits your size. Find the knife that's the right size for you. This knife is not the right size for me. I like this knife. So I'm going to take my onion here. Leave the hairy part on. That's going to hold your onion together when you dice it. So, go down like that. Go down like that. Cut it in half. We got one side right here. We're putting it over here. I'm going to take this side. I'm looking for a small dice. So, you guys can see we have all these scraps left over. Culinary 2. Question for you to answer in the chat. What do we do and what do we make with all the scraps we have left over instead of wasting them? What can we make with that? Gwen, correct. Stock. We are going to use these scraps left over. We can make vegetable stock. We can make chicken stock. We can make beef stock. So I'm looking for a small dice. First of all, hold your hand like this. Keep your onions secured. We're going to work our way around. You guys can see as I'm going through it, it's going through with pretty much a lot of ease. Why? Because this knife is sharp and I have 100% control over what I'm doing. Right. Bring it like this. Then go through it once like this. Hold it together. You can either use the tip of your knife and go through like that. Or if you want to, there's a different technique. Have the tip of your knife there. Use the weight of your knife. Let the weight of your knife do the work. And bring the knife downtown like that. I prefer to use the tip like that. Bring it through. Once you bring it through enough, lay it down flat. Go through like this. Go through like this. Go through like this. That's all you should have left when you're doing an onion and some peels. Now, you can use those scraps to make stock because Culinary too, this is part of your lab for this week. When you have to throw stuff away, if you're throwing away extra stuff instead of utilizing as much as you can, what are you throwing away besides vegetables? What are you throwing away?
Money?
Money, yes. You're throwing away money. You're throwing your money completely down the drain. You like throwing money away?
No.
Or do you like saving money?
We like saving.
Absolutely. What you want to do is you want to maximize your food costs and leave very little waste. All right, next one. We went over small dice. Let's do a Julienne. I'm going to use a different knife now. And once again, standards and consistency. I like it sharp. When the knife is sharp, you know it's going to be safe. So this time we're going to do a Julienne cut. This time we're going to cut the hairy end off because we don't need it. Thank you for coming. See you later. Take this side right here. Standard Julienne cut. Onion. Hold it like this. Use your knuckle as a guide. As you can see, the cleaver's going through very, very easily. Why? Because it's what? It's sharp. And when a knife is sharp, you have 100% control and you're safe. And it's the same kind of grip. Pinch grip. Thumb and index finger. Wrap it around. Hold it like this. Oh, you have complete control of what you're doing. We're going to wipe this stuff down a little bit. There's one thing, though, about my knives that are different from yours. These knives are not stainless steel. They are carbon steel. And guess what, guys? They will rust. The Global knife's stainless steel, though. Okay, so it's like, next thing you're probably asking me, well, chef, we like French fries. Well, okay. Let's do some French fries. Let's use the Curie cleaver. Again. Standards. Check my knife, it's razor sharp. Now, my personal standard is, if that knife would have caught anyway on that paper, I would have considered that dull and I would have had to put it on the sharpening stones again. I like my knives wicked, wicked sharp because I want complete full control on what I'm doing. I know that if my knife is sharp, I'm safe. So, potato. We're going to take our Curie cleaver here. We're going to go down like that. We're going to go down like that. We're going to make a couple different cuts here. So, French fry cut. We come down here. French fry cut, also called the bâtonnet cut. We're going to make sure that these cuts are roughly the same size. So when you cut this, that is the bâtonnet cut. These are cut evenly, and you know that when they're cut evenly, they're going to cook evenly. I was like, well, chef, I don't have a deep fryer. You can use a pot and some hot oil and a thermometer. But, chef, I like to make like some hash with my breakfast in the morning. Hold on, guys. Hey, look, sorry. Excuse me. I'm going to wash my hands again. Okay, guys, I'm back. All right, we'll leave that potato here. Right, we're going to take the Curie cleaver here. All right, we're going to cut some medium dice. Right, well, chef, I like corned beef hash. Well, get some corned beef, boil it, have it left over, and then you just cut through like that, like a medium dice. And there you have potatoes for corned beef hash. But when you're cutting stuff, guys, I want to see uniform cuts. Cuts need to be the same size. They need to be uniform, presentation-wise and cook-wise. If you cut things evenly, they're going to cook evenly. All right, I'm going to go back to the Chinese cleaver here. Let's talk about some of the more fine cuts that we need to do. Let's talk about a fine julienne. Let's talk about a brunoise cut. So, carrots. When you cut carrots, the most important thing is I want you to be safe. Carrot like this. Slice the end off. Cut this carrot down into a reasonable size. You don't want it to be too big because it's going to be more dangerous to cut and you're going to hurt yourself. I don't want you guys going to the hospital getting stitches and saying, well, chef told me how to do it this way. No, we're going to be safe. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the ends off the carrot so we can square it up and make it safe. Like that. Take those here. Throw those in the stock pot. Our carrot is now safe. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my knuckle guide here. I'm going to cut a very thin piece down the side. Like that. You can see that's cut very, very thin. We're going to do a fine julienne on this carrot. So this, guys, right here is a fine julienne. See it on the camera? Right there. That is what we call a fine julienne. And you can pickle those. You can put them on a salad. It makes it look really, really nice. You can fry them crispy, put them on top of fish as a garnish. And you can do that for potatoes too. Speaking of that, let's talk about, different cuts and how they create what I call perception of value. You have your nice cut carrots here. We're going to take this carrot here. We're going to go, oh, yeah, we're just going to cut it like that. We'll make it a couple different sizes. We're going to use that, and I'm going to garnish it on my garden salad. So you got these right here, guys. Then you have these right here. Let's talk about perception of value. If you saw these on a salad, let's say you owned a restaurant, and you put these on a salad, and you put these on a salad, which salad do you think is going to sell more? What carrots would you use?
The thinner ones?
The thinner ones? Yeah. Anybody else? Which carrots would you use?
The
Somebody
julienne.
said the thinner ones. Who else agrees with the thinner ones? If you would use the thinner ones, give me a thumbs up. Give me a virtual thumbs up or tell me I would use the thinner ones. Which ones would you use, guys? This you put on a $3 garden salad. This you put on an $8 garden salad. Just letting you know. So this is fine julienne. Let's talk about brunoise. Brunoise is a very, very small dice. There is an appetizer that people can order at a restaurant. It is called an amuse-bouche. It's one bite. Most of the time, people put it on the end of a spoon. I have a friend of mine named Gina Clark. She is a private chef in Malibu. She's the Malibu Seaside Chef. Look her up. Really, really nice lady. She and I actually follow each other on Instagram. I've talked to her a lot, and she's really, really cool. And she actually has done it where she's actually done an amuse-bouche on the end of a Chinese spoon, and all the cuts have to be very, very small because you want all these different components to create that beautiful composed bite that is pops full of flavor, because amuse-bouche actually means to amuse the palate. And so you might want to remember that, because you never know. It might be on a quiz. So please remember that, guys. And this is being recorded, and I'm going to post it to Google Classroom anyway. Amuse-bouche means amuse the palate. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys the brunoise cut right here. So I'm going to take it like this. We're going to cut very, very finely. And this right here, I'm going to hold it up to the camera. This is a brunoise cut right here. Very, very small, very, very fine, very, very precise. Last year, I had students working on a project, and I forced them to brunoise cut ginger. And you want to know why I did that? Because my chef made me do it. I was working on an Asian dish, and I was just hacking at the ginger. And he said, "Tom, what the hell are you doing, brah?" I said, "You know how much uniform cuts mean to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's true." And I had to do it all over again. I had to brunoise cut all the ginger for this dish. And this was at a sports arena, so there was a lot of stuff to do. And I had to brunoise cut the ginger and make sure it was uniform and it was precise. Because that's what your chef wants. That's what you do. It's an industry thing. So I'm going to set that over there. I'm going to wipe off my knife. And so you're thinking, well, chef, that's easy with a carrot. Can you brunoise cut any other things? Well, of course you can. Let's do a potato. Potato right here. Can you brunoise cut a potato? Of course you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it like this. We're going to do that one came out too thin. We're going to do a nice thin cut right here. Okay. So guys, here is a really, really thin cut this is a fine julienne of potato right here. Now, you're probably asking, well, chef, can we just leave the potatoes like that? Of course you can. This thing is perfect. You can deep fry these till they're nice and golden brown and crispy. You can sprinkle them on top of fish as a garnish. It's absolutely beautiful. You can use this as a garnish on top of a steak. You know, people like steak and potatoes. So steak, little sauce on it. Put the crispy potatoes on top, because people like texture when they're eating their food. Of course you can do that. So I'm going to take all these potatoes. I'm going to set them down here. I'm going to line them up. And let's do a brunoise cut on the potatoes. And there we go. Nice, precise, small cut on the potatoes. This all fits on the end of a spoon. If you want to do like a little crispy potato, do like a small piece of fish on there, just on the end of a Chinese spoon, you can do that. It's possible. Anything is possible. But the key thing that makes all these knife cuts so accurate, and what helps you become more precise, is the fact that your knives have to be sharp. If your knives aren't sharp, you're not going to be successful. All right, so we talked about big cuts on the big boards. Let's go for small stuff. What about when you're cutting with a paring knife, chef? Let's talk about that. This is a 150 millimeter or a 5-inch paring knife. I like this. This thing is so sharp I can shave with it. So when you're cutting with a paring knife, first of all, I'm going to bring it down on the board. I'm going to cut this down a little bit shorter. Make it a little more usable. The one thing that people make as far as a mistake is they use this knife and they try to push their knife through the food. Can't do that. You got to push the food through the knife. Let me show you. when you have your knife up like this, if you try to put pressure with the knife, your knife's going to slip. You're going to slice your thumb open. You're going to end up in the hospital. It's like, boy, I feel really, really stupid because I don't want people going to the hospital saying, well, that's how chef showed me how to do it. No, it's not. Here's how it is. You bring your knife up here. I am using the weight of my knife, and I am pushing the knife through the food and releasing my thumb, and there you go. I'm pushing my knife, food through the knife. All right? And if your knife's really sharp, you can get really, really thin. You could actually peel a carrot with your knife, and it's really sharp, and you won't take a lot of the meat of the carrot off, but if you do, hey, that's what the stock pot is for. So you can actually peel a carrot like this, and we'll even show you this right here. Move your food through the knife. I'm pushing the potato through like that. Even if you want to cut it thin, see, I'm pushing the food through the knife. Okay? You guys got it? There is one cut that I usually go over. It's the tourné cut. I hate that cut because it takes forever to do. This is it right here. It's where you cut carrots or zucchini or potatoes into the size of little footballs. And it's an old school classical cut. And I will never, ever make you guys do this if we do an event. Never make you do this. And I won't. Because it just takes a long time. And you know what? If you cut things on a bias or you cut things differently, that's fine. Let's talk about cutting on the bias. Another thing about perception of value. Let's use the duck slicer now. Again, always test your blade. That one might be a little dull. Let's check it again. Yeah, that one's not up to par. We're not going to use that. Let's go back to the Oriental Chef knife now. All right, we're going to set that there. Cutting on a bias. A lot of times you'll see this with Chinese food. People will they'll cut the steak on the bias. These thin, flat sheets of vegetables. These thin, flat sheets of meat. Why do they do that? So they can pick it up with their chopsticks. Also, it creates for a faster cooking time. So I'm going to take this carrot right here. I'm going to use the weight of my knife. I'm going to bring it down like that and cut it in half perfectly. Now, you can do different stuff here. For stir fry, same thing with the salad. You can do, okay, I'm going to just cut my carrots here and make this really, really cool stuff. I'll put it in a stir fry. You can see it right here, guys. People just kind of don't care. Pick a size, any size. Right there. Now tell me, are those two pieces of carrot going to cook at the same time? Are they going to finish cooking at the same time? Yes or no? Look at the size difference. Are they going to finish cooking at the same time? And I see people are chatting about something else. So, you know what? That's on them. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. It's your grade. People who are listening, are those two carrots going to cook at the same time?
No, one is thicker than the other.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I'm getting a lot of no's from people. You're correct. So we're going to do that. Bias cut right here. Take your carrot. Take your knife. Make sure the tip of your knife stays on your cutting board. I'm going to show you how to do the rocking motion. This is safe. You try it like this, it's not going to work. Take your carrot. Hold your knife at an angle like this, and we're going to rock it like that. Rocking like the motion of the ocean. Now, are those two going to cut at the same time? Are they going to cook together at the same time and be finished at the same time?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Kinda easy.
And see this right here? And this right here? This is a $4 bowl of stir fry. This is a $12 bowl of stir fry because why? We created what? We create perception of value just by presentation and knife cuts alone. That's it. That's all you have to do. All right, let us review. Let us review again. Onion. What's the first thing I do, guys? Somebody talk. What's the first thing I do with this onion? I'm looking for a small dice. Tell me, what's the first thing I do, guys? I want you to walk me through this. What's the first thing I do?
You test to see if your knife is sharp enough.
Well, I've already done that. I've already tested that my knife is sharp. What's the next thing I do with the onion?
I think you cut the end of it and then you cut it in half.
Cut the end of it and cut it in half. Okay. I'm going to let you guys guide me through this. I want to see if some of you guys are paying attention. Cut it through. Cut it in half. What's the next thing I do?
You peel it.
Peel it. Okay.
Yeah.
I got one person giving me instructions. They're paying attention. They're listening. I like it. All right. What's the next thing I do?
Oh, I forgot Chef Tom.
Don't you cut the peeled piece into smaller pieces?
Yes, you do. Right. Thank you. Correct. As you can see, the knife is going through easy because my knife is what?
Sharp.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. What's the next thing I do? Somebody talk to me.
You chop it in half.
Yeah, I go through it. I go through it in half, like this. Now, what's the last thing I do?
Cut it.
Cut it. Thank you.
Sorry, my hand is asleep.
All right.
Oh, whoops, my mic was on. Yeah.
All right. What do we do with the scraps, Culinary One? They go into the what? I've said it 3 times already, guys. Stock pot.
Right.
Yes, thank you.
What?
They go into the stock pot.
Oh, right. Stop.
Okay. Awesome, guys. Remember, guys, your teachers are going to be watching this. So I hope you answer nicely. All right. Awesome. Okay, guys. So, any questions on knife cuts? Any questions on anything I'm doing? Any questions on sharp knives?
Actually, I have a question.
What's up?
What was the knife you're using again? Isn't it like copper? And you said like they rust?
Carbon steel.
Oh, right. Is
Carbon
there any way
steel.
to clean it?
What's that?
Is there any way to like unrust it in a way?
Yes, there is. There's a special cleaner that I have, and I use it on there, and it actually takes the rust off of it.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, I have a special cleaner for my knives, and also I have wax for my wooden handles. I actually wax the handles so they actually stay sealed and they don't rot. Okay, any other questions, guys? I'm going to shut the demo cam off. We're going to go over to the regular cam, and we're going to get this done, guys. Okay, I'm going to hang up over here.